So let's start with relations. A relation from set A to B is subset of Cartesian product of A and B. A relation from A to B can be one to many, in which each element of A can be related to more than one element of B. A function can be represented in the form of relationship as well, where each element of A is related to exactly one element of B. So suppose there are n elements in a set A, then there can be 2 to the power n square relations possible on that particular set, that is from A to A. And if the number of elements in A are P and number of elements in B are Q, then there can be 2 to the power P into Q relations possible over A cross B. Now let's see a few examples of relations defined over set of A to set of B, where A is a set of 0, 1, 2, 3 and 4 and B is a set of 0, 1, 2 and 3. Relation R1 is defined as a relation that contains order pairs A, B if and only if B is a multiple of A and A is a non-zero number. Now this is a very simple example of a relation and we can easily find out all the order pairs of this relation. Moving next, the relation R2 is defined as a relation that contains order pairs A and B if and only if the greatest common divisor of A and B is equal to 1. Now the point to remember here is that the GCD of any number and 0 is the number itself and the GCD of 0 and 0 is not defined. Also, the GCD of any two number is equal to 1 when these two numbers are relatively prime. By keeping these 2 points in mind, we can also find out all the order pairs of this relation as well. Moving next, the relation R3 is defined as a relation that contains order pairs A and B if and only if the least common multiple of A and B is equal to 2. Now, when two numbers A and B are given such that A is less than B, then the least common multiple of A and B is equal to B when B modulo A is equal to 0. Also, the least common multiple of A and B is equal to A multiplied by B when B modulo A is not equal to 0. Keeping this point in mind, we can also find out all the order pairs of this relation as well. Now let's see what an inverse relation is. Let R be a relation over a set of A to set of B. Then the inverse relation R is defined over the set of B to set of A as the relation that contains order pairs BA for all those order pairs AB that exist in R. If MR is the matrix representation of R, then the matrix representation of its inverse is obtained simply by taking transpose of MR. The important point to notice here is that the symmetric closure of the relation can be constructed by taking the union of the relation with its inverse. Say S is the symmetric closure of R, then S is a union of R and R inverse. And if MS is the matrix representation of S, then MS can be obtained by performing OR operation on R and its transpose. Let's see it by an example. Here, relation R is defined over the set of positive integers as a relation that contains order pairs A and B where A is greater than B. Then, by very definition, the R inverse is also defined over the set of positive integers as the relation that contains order pairs BA where B is less than A. Now, the symmetric closure of R is a union of R and R inverse. By performing this union operation, we obtain relation S as a relation that is defined over the set of positive integers which contains order pairs AB where A is not equal to B. Now let's see what a complement of relation is. Let R again be a relation defined over a set of A to B. Then the complement of a relation R is also defined over a set of A to B, but it contains all the order pairs AB that does not exist in R. Now let's say about the composite relation. Let's say there are two relations. Relation R is defined over the set A to B and relation S is defined over set B to C. The composite relation of R and S is defined over the set A to C and it consists of the ordered pairs A, C, where A belongs to A and C belongs to C, and for all such ordered pair A, C in the composite relation of R and S, there exists an element B in the set B such that the ordered pair AB exists in the relation R and the ordered pair BC exists in relation S. Here is an example of how to find the composite relation of two given relations. Now let's see how the composite relation of the relation R onto itself is defined. Let's say relation R is defined over the set of A. Then the composite relation of this relation R is also defined over the set of A and it consists of the ordered pairs AC, and for each such ordered pair AC, both the ordered pairs AB and ordered pair BC do exist in relation R only. Based on this definition of composite relation of the relation R onto itself, the powers of relation R are defined by the recursive equations, where the first power of R is given by R itself and the n plus 1th power of R is defined as a composite relation of R and its nth power. There are few important notes to remember regarding properties of R and its nth power. Relation R defined over a set of A is transitive if and only if the nth power of R is a proper subset of R for n equal to 1 to 3 onwards. If R is irreflexive, then the nth power of R may not be irreflexive. But if R is reflexive, then nth power of R is reflexive for all the positive integer n. Similarly, if R is symmetric, then nth power of R is also symmetric for all the positive integers n. Now let's check out some important properties of relation. Relation R is defined over a set of A. If this relation R contains the ordered pairs of nature AA for all the elements of set A, then relation R is said to be reflexive. That is, it relates all the elements of set A to itself. Now, if the relation R does not contain any single ordered pair of nature AA for any of the element of set A, then such a relation is said to be irreflexive. A relation can be neither reflexive nor irreflexive. That means it can contain some of the ordered pairs of nature AA, but it may not contain all the ordered pairs of nature AA for all the elements of set A. Now, if R is a relation which is reflexive, then its complementary is bound to be reflexive. Now, suppose there are two reflexive relations defined over set of A, then the relations given by R union S, R intersection S, and the composite relation of R and S are reflexive relations, but the relations given by R minus S, S minus R, and R XOR S are irreflexive relations. Relation R is symmetric if it contains ordered pair BA for all the ordered pairs AB that exist in relation R. For any symmetric relation, the relation R and its inverse are the same. If relation R contains both the ordered pairs AB and BA whenever A equal to B and not otherwise, then such relation is said to be antisymmetric. Intersection of such antisymmetric relation with its inverse yields us a diagonal relation in which each element of set A is related to itself. If relation R does not contain an ordered pair BA whenever it does contain the ordered pair AB, then such relation is said to be asymmetric. For a relation to be asymmetric, it has to be irreflexive. Intersection of such asymmetric relation with its inverse gives us a null relation. Now let's check out the transitive property of a relation. A relation is said to be transitive whenever it contains an ordered pair AC when both the ordered pairs AB and BC do exist in relation R itself. The important point to notice here is that whenever the relation is transitive, its inverse is bound to be transitive and vice versa. Also, when relation is reflexive and transitive, then the nth power of relation is given by relation itself. Now let's check out this example. Here we need to identify the properties of relation R defined over the set of Z, and it contains order pair xy where x is congruent to y modulo 7. Now when x is congruent to y modulo 7, that means x minus y is divisible by 7. This relation is reflexive because x minus x is equal to 0 and 0 is always divisible by 7. Relation is symmetric because whenever x minus y is divisible by 7, y minus x is also divisible by 7. The relation is also transitive because whenever x minus y is divisible by 7 and y minus z is divisible by 7, that inherently means that x minus z is divisible by 7. In this another example, a null relation is defined over a non-empty set, and we have to prove that it is reflexive, symmetric and transitive. Now whenever we would try to prove these three properties, the domain of these universally quantified statements are going to be null, and hence they are always true, and this way we can prove that a null relation defined over a non-empty set is always reflexive, symmetric and transitive. Now let's check out this another interesting example where we have to find out the properties of relation R defined over a set of Z, and it contains order pairs xy where x is multiple of y. Now obviously this relation is reflexive because whenever x is multiplied by 1, it yields itself. This relation is not symmetric because when x is multiple of y, that does not imply that y is also multiple of x. But importantly, this relation is not antisymmetric as well. This is because both x and minus x are multiple of each other, and presence of such ordered pairs in relation R do not allow it to be antisymmetric. Now this relation is transitive because whenever x is multiple of y and y is multiple of z, that inherently means that x is multiple of z as well.